All right, I want to show you, this is the mandel bread. If I can get this tilted. I baked some. I'm starting with the last step, if I can. Let's see if that works. Nope, that's not it. That's worse. Let's try it this way. Okay, I'm going to hold it down.
Yeah,
and what I'm going to do is I bake these, and you take them out and let them cool for about 5 minutes. And you slow them down.
Just pay attention.
So this is the last step, but I didn't want you to have to hang around while they baked. So I'm slicing them down now. Let me slice them and then I'll pick this up again and show you how I turn them.
So you're just cutting them straight down, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not cutting them at an angle.
Not at an angle at all, no. Mm-mm. And they're about a ½ an inch or so. I mean, I don't measure, whatever it is, it is. As I was telling Mara, this is a very forgiving recipe. If you leave it in the oven too long, it doesn't matter. Okay, as you can see, I've sliced all these down, and now I'm just going to flip them over on their side. And I'm going to put them back in the oven for about 5 minutes. And what that does is it makes them get crisper.
Do you ever turn them over on the sides and put cinnamon and sugar on the sides?
No, I just have cinnamon and sugar on the top. There's a lot of chocolate chips in these, so I don't really think they need more. This big one's hard to keep up. I don't really think they need more.
They look delicious.
They are. And I'm
okay,
going to
so
taste
you're
them
just,
for you.
Are you turning them or are you just putting them back in the oven just like that?
No, I'm turning them on their side.
Okay.
So you can see.
Yeah.
And that way
when you do the turn, do you put them only on the side one time, or do you do it a second
one time? Just one time. And then you put them back in the oven. It depends upon how crispy you like them. I put them back in for about 5 minutes. Okay, that's one done. Now let's get the other one. These spread out a little more than I thought they would. I haven't made them in a while, so I forgot. But these. Now, if you weren't here, I'd be eating all the crumbs, but I'll do that later.
I save my crumbs. I put them in the freezer.
What do you use them for? Sometimes
for another kind of a recipe. Sometimes if I'm making a cake, I'll sprinkle it on at the end.
Oh, that sounds good. I just eat them like this. This is probably the hardest thing about making them, is turning them over.
Especially if they're warm.
They're just warm. They're not real hot. They've been out a little longer than I normally leave them out. But actually, hang on a minute. I'm going to get another pan and spread them out a little more because this pan's kind of tight.
Okay.
Get a little easier, I think. Yes. I've used Zoom a lot, but I've never presented on Zoom before, so There's always a first time.
You're doing a great job.
They look good.
They are. They'll get much crispier when you put them back in the oven. They're pretty soft right now, but they do crisp up a good bit. These will be easier. I can spread them out a little more too. This one's broken. If these were crumbs you needed, Anita, you'd have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to spread these out a little bit and put them in the oven. And I'll be right back and we'll mix up a new batch. And we'll set the timer. Okay. All right, I'm back. Let me show you how I do this. First thing you do is take your pan, and you're supposed to use flour and butter it and flour it or grease and flour. I just use a spray. Especially with the new pans they have now, it's really easy. Okay, this is the recipe. I am going to put 3 eggs in here.
Mara, are we going to have a booklet like we did last time?
We can. Right now, you just got sent the
link.
recipe in the email today.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to beat the egg yolk, the eggs a bit. And then I'm going to add all at one time the sugar, the oil, and the vanilla. I'm putting a little bit more than a tablespoon. Beat that all up. Now, the person who gave me this recipe told me she can put, sometimes she just put poppy seeds in. But poppy seeds is my favorite flavor, so I don't think I would do that. Okay, so now all we have to do is start putting the flour in, which I have measured out, 3 cups of flour. I mixed the baking soda in there.
So you're not putting the flour in all at one time. You're measuring
No,
it
a little bit.
little by little.
I can use the whisk for about 2/3 of it, and then I just use a spoon. It's too thick even to use a beater. And Noah, this is the part you will do, right? Okay, now I'm going to switch to the spoon and the rest of the flour.
After that, easy was this doing the hard part.
Okay, I'm just going to fold this in. Okay, it's not quite mixed, but I'm going to add, you can add as much as you want. I'm going to put about half the nuts in there. You don't have to put nuts in it. The first batch only had chocolate chips.
Rhoda, 5 minutes has passed, I think.
No, I have the timer on.
Oh, good. Okay.
I know better because I know I forget. And then I'm going to put chocolate chips in.
Did you just put 12 ounces in?
12 ounces. That's what it says on the recipe. If you use, I put maybe about a cup of nuts. You can put in whatever you want, as much as you want. It's really forgiving. I'll show you the dough once it's all mixed.
And even plain is good.
Yes. Not as good as with the chocolate chips and nuts, but and the person who did poppy seed, if you like poppy seed, I think it would be good. Well, almost mixed. And I have 39 seconds, Anita. I didn't forget about it. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll show you what it looks like.
We kind of can see from your fingers.
That's what it looks like. Okay, can make it just a little bit more. Okay, that's good enough.
It's a pretty heavy dough, huh, Rhoda?
Very thick, very thick. It's supposed to be. These out. Actually, I'm going to let them crisp a little longer. It's still pretty soft. I'll let them stay until I get the loaves made. Okay, now you just take half. I make 2 small loaves. You can make 1 large loaf, but I prefer to make 2 small loaves. You just put it on the pan.
I have a cousin who would make the loaves really small so that when her kids would eat them, they wouldn't put a million crumbs all over.
It's a good idea. It actually, this isn't as sticky as it normally is. Okay. Now, let me rinse my hands off and I'll show you. Okay, this is what they look like. Can you see them? Let's see. Yeah. How's that? Maybe if I hold them over them, can you see them that way? Oh, let's try it this way. Yeah, I am moving.
Your camera just went off, Rhoda.
I don't know why. Oh, okay.
There you go.
Here we go. Good to see
Now
the
we can see them.
Yeah, and now I'm going to do is now I make cinnamon and sugar to sprinkle on the top. I like a lot of cinnamon, some people don't. So you have to mix it the way you like. I also use this, it's a stronger cinnamon, so I don't use as much. But you can tell by the color how much you want. There we go. Okay. Take the other ones out and put these in. set my timer. And this is what they look like when they're crisp. And you can make them as crisp as you like. This is medium crisp. You can put it in longer if you want.
Can you break one in? Can you break one in half so we can see?
They're not, these aren't real crisp, but as they get cooler, they'll crisp up more.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you want to taste them, I'm bringing them for the oneg. So come to Friday night services.
You got that, Noah? There, she's going to serve them an oneg. And here is, here's some of the history of them. So they date back to the 19th century, and they're closely related to biscotti. The word mandel brat means almond bread in both German and Yiddish. And the origin of this, according to Joan Nathan, is that a large Jewish population in Piedmont, Italy, may have been the place where Jews first tasted biscotti and later brought them to Europe, where they called them mandelbrot, which literally means almond bread. In the Ukraine, a similar cookie, not necessarily with almonds, but made at home, thursmeshish, was served. In Italy, they are often eaten as a dessert dipped into wine or grappa. In Eastern Europe, Jews dip them into glasses of tea, and because they include no butter and are easily kept, they became a good Shabbat dessert. So
and they're parve. If you want them to be parve, then you could use chocolate chips without the milk in them. You know, wouldn't be probably dark chocolate chips.
Right, dark chocolate. Mm-hmm.
So it would, and they can be parve and they can be kept for a long time. So they're good for anything.
Right. And Rhoda said she also makes one for Passover that uses cake meal instead of flour.
And it's really, really good. I think it uses butter though, but I'll have to find the recipe.
Okay.
But they're really good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions for Rhoda?
Okay. We'll
Noah,
come Friday
you got any
night.
questions?
I'm definitely coming to Friday night services, Rhoda.
Well, then you'll get a chance to taste them.
Yeah, I better tell Judy to make sure they get put out and not in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
So
and there'll be some with nuts and some without nuts.
Yep, just mark them, you know.
I know, and I have pans to put them in, and I'll mark them nuts or no nuts.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
any questions?
Thanks for the background, Mara, and I appreciate you
Mara.
doing this, Rhoda.
So next week, our online cooking class is making pickles and sauerkraut with Rachel Kudrick and her wife, Mary. The February in-person cooking class is about making pies with my friend Isabel, who's from France. And so that's what we've got. And I thank you all both for coming. And Rhoda, thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.